And I've been a marriage therapist for 20 years, and one of the things that I have absolutely concretely learned and came to understand is marriage is not something that you're innately born with the ability to be great at.
Women want to be their sounding board and like wisdom for their husband, not their critic. It can be hard for some men, for a lot of men, to be very vulnerable. And so when you're in those vulnerable moments, when we're critical, they can often feel just very exposed.
Your husband will walk through, broken glass through a brick wall if he feels appreciated. He just will. That's just the way we're built. That's the way God built us.
A study by the National Marriage Project shows that couples who spend quality time together report higher satisfaction in marriage and are more likely to stay together.
Well, I could have told them that. They didn't have to do a whole study on that one. If you're gonna stay married, like you might want to spend time together.
Your blended family has a 100% chance of success when you do it God's way. We're Blended Kingdom Families, and we want to provide biblical resources to heal and restore families with a message of hope for the next generation.
Hey guys, welcome to the BKF podcast. We're so glad to be back with you. We are excited to bring today's topic to you because this is one that we deal with a lot when we do our couples coaching and also marriage counseling.
Oh, yes.
It's a big one.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, let's just get a statement here. How can husbands and wives be a better support system
In their marriage.
Yes.
Supporting each other in your marriage.
Yeah, we're supposed to do that, right? As husband and wife, we're
Absolutely.
a team.
Yes.
We're supposed to help each other.
Yes.
It's kind of like I lift you, you lift me. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
But this is something that I think so many couples, and we've been in seasons where we've done this, where your love tank kind of gets empty, so to speak, because there's been a lot of take, and not a lot of giving and being able to receive. And so then you just kind of get depleted. And so it's like, what can cause some of these things that happen? And what are some of the things that we can do to be intentional in supporting one another?
And I've been a marriage therapist for 20 years. And one of the things that I have absolutely concretely learned and came to understand is marriage is not something that you're innately born with the ability to be great at.
Yeah.
It's not something as men or as women that we're like, it's downloaded to us and we know how to do it. We need to learn. And if you're in that season where you're like, hey, I'm struggling in my marriage, well, give yourself some room to breathe that, hey, there are things that you could probably learn to do better that are teachable, it's perfectly okay to say, hey, I need to learn how to do this better. Yeah.
No, I agree. And, I think the way in which husbands support their wives and then the way in which wives support their husbands, like men and women we are all wired differently.
Very different.
And especially when you have kids in the mix and you throw the complexity of being a blended family in that too.
Yeah.
It's different. And so we want to go through and talk about kind of like both sides, like how husbands can support wives and vice versa. And I think one of the things, like speaking as a wife, I think one of the things like for women that's really important, it's emotional support and spiritual support. Because I feel like that as a woman and as a wife, I feel so much more connected when I feel like you understand me emotionally, but also spiritually, you're a support in that for me too. And then that for me then it draws me to that physical intimacy and wanting to be, more intimate and things like that. And I think that that's a lot of women feel that way. I'm not going to say everyone, but there are a lot of women because through our counseling and through our years of ministering to couples and coaching couples and counseling couples, this is a very common theme.
Notice what I was just doing there. That was called listening.
Nodding and
without judgment. That's what that was. Husbands, take note. It took very little energy to do that. It took almost no skill. It just was listening without judgment, which I equate to listening without opening your mouth and saying anything. That's what it starts with. It's just listening and acknowledge and validating her feelings and understanding. And this is probably one of the most difficult parts of the relationship is understanding that if she feels that way, then it's true for her. Same way if I feel a certain way, it's true for me. It's not one of those things that you can say to somebody, you don't feel that way, or that's not, a true feeling. When you own that, it becomes true. So you have to acknowledge and validate feelings, and even when you fully don't understand them. And I will tell you, if there is a man listening to this right now, I will say you won't understand them, because at the end of the day, again, men and women are wired differently. And you may hear something your wife says and be like, I completely don't understand why you feel that way. And that's okay if you don't understand. You're not supposed to understand or even agree, but you are supposed to acknowledge and validate.
No, I think that's so important. And I think that not only just like having the emotional support, I think also just the intentionality by which, husbands make their wives a priority, like a priority. We just talked about listening and validating, but also quality time is a really big one for women. I know for me that whenever you take the time to schedule us a date night and you arrange the childcare,
And I need to do that more often.
I would agree.
I know. I need to up my game. I need to up my game a little bit better on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up on 12 years. So
Yeah.
12 years in November. So up the game. But you got good game. Not gonna lie. But anyways, quality time. And so make time for your wife outside of daily routine. So date nights, simple walks. The other day we put on our weighted vests and we were walking the dogs. And it was funny because I asked Scott, I was like, hey, I'm like 42 and this weighted vest season era is a thing.
I'm not sure who invented the weighted vest thing, but man, I think walking's good, but the walking vest thing is good too.
You get what I'm saying? But it's uninterrupted time together, doing something with your spouse. And I think it's planning the small, even just simple gestures. It doesn't have to be this huge thing, but it's so meaningful because I think for women, it says, one, you see me, and also that you are, putting in the thought and the time to do something meaningful for me that, can refresh our relationship, or it can just be this moment of, hey, like we haven't had some time together and I just want to spend time with you. And in that you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel loved. And I think that women desire that.
Yeah, and it's not about, especially that quality time. It may not be like, hey, let's go and have these crazy conversations. I think just being in your presence. And I was a pastor I was watching, I think it was Craig Rochelle who said this. He says him and his wife take walks all the time, and sometimes they talk, and sometimes they don't say anything.
Yeah.
They just walk. And I think, again, just that time together is part of the quality time and making sure that you're budgeting that together.
Well, a study by the National Marriage Project shows that couples who spend quality time together report higher satisfaction in marriage and are more likely to stay together.
Well, I could have told them that. They didn't have to do a whole study on that one. If you're going to stay married, like you might want to spend time together, good time together if you want to like have a happy marriage. That would be kind of a no-brainer. But also the physical and mental support. I'm going to use that as a big phrase.
Yeah.
But husbands, we don't have the luxury of just saying, hey, you do all this, I do this. I mean, this is a teamwork. We want to cover each other, especially in areas where it could be overwhelming. So, vacuum the floor. Hey, do the dishes. Put the kids to bed. Again, serving your spouse is an incredible gift that God gives you. So, do that. Encourage her to take self-time. I think this is one of the things me and all my friends kind of joke about a lot is I am great if Vanessa's like, hey, I want to go do this. Go. I don't say a word.
He really is.
Hey, I want to go for a run. Great, go. Hey, I want to go to the beach. Go. I never, ever say no if she says, hey, I want to go do this. Because I want her to enjoy, and take time for herself, take time with her friends. I think that is always, just always a yes answer for me.
No, it's good. And I think that you're really great about this, and husbands should be great about this, is just encouraging your wife's personal growth, whether that's in her career goals, any projects she's doing, but also like in her spiritual walk. And I think that is so important. And I know for me, just speaking from experience that, when I feel supported in the things and the desires that God has put on my heart, it makes me feel better about myself, and it makes me feel closer to you, and it makes me feel like I'm doing good things. And overall, it just makes me feel like a good person. Yeah.
Well, there is a flip side of this, and it is what wives can do to support your husband.
Yes.
And let me tell you, there is, a lot of things you can do, and it's not just physical, although that's pretty fun too. But yeah, so let's talk about that. Affirmations and appreciation.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, men do not need much. We're really, really simple creatures. We're really simple. We're not complicated. Don't overcomplicate us. But yeah, appreciation and affirmation is a big, big thing. Your husband will walk through, broken glass through a brick wall if he feels appreciated. He just will. That's just the way we're built. That's the way God built us. But we do need to hear that. And I think, again, in marriage, you get into routines where you just don't hear it enough, and you don't really maybe even think about it enough.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal.
No, yeah. We talk about men's needs, women's needs, mega needs, and, honor and respect is one of the biggest ones, but also just, hey, you're doing a great job. I think that husbands bear a huge load. We each have our own loads, and what that looks like in our families, because every family is unique and different. And, it can feel a lot like, I'm doing all this work, nobody's noticing, and I'm carrying the weight of everything and doing all of this for everyone, and there's just a lack of appreciation. And so just even saying like, hey, I see you, thank you so much for providing for us. Thank you so much for leading us, and making sure that we're going to church and all the, like that. I know it's a balm for the soul, so to speak, for men. So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. And respect and trust is a big one. Again, I think most men understand that this is, a part of the things that they desire, innately, is to be respected and trusted. I wouldn't say that that's one of the things you need to like vocalize to him all the time. I think that can get a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
But I think you do that through little things like I'm gonna throw the one thing that's out there that every wife struggles with is like when he's behind the wheel, he's gonna get there. It's okay. Should we be silent for a second to allow for the space for that to sit in?
We may get there with a full-blown anxiety and panic attack.
That is perfectly fine. But let me tell you something. When you pray and you say, God, give me opportunities to trust my husband, and he gives them to you. And so, ladies, I'm just saying when he's driving, it's okay. And I do believe, and I'm sure Dan, who's our camera guy, is probably nodding here. He's saying, I see a lot of men who are in their 70s and 80s, and they have learned the most valuable lesson is they just don't drive anymore. That's true. You see it.
I think we're there, and we're
in
our 40s.
I mean, I'm almost there. I'm ready to be a passenger.
Prince.
Be a passenger prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be good. But I think that is a great part of it. Support structure is also important. Supporting him, not being a critic. Again, everybody can point out things that are wrong. He knows what's wrong.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be brought up on every occasion. Now, and that's not saying, hey, there aren't opportunities where you can pour into your husband, say, hey, you've got to really fix these areas.
Yeah.
I do believe husbands need to respect their wife's opinion very, very much.
But I think it needs to be done like in a gentle way. Like women want to be their sounding board and like wisdom for their husband, not their critic. And so men, it can be hard for some men, for a lot of men, to be very vulnerable. And so when you're in those vulnerable moments, when we're critical, they can often feel just very exposed, torn down, and it's hard. It can be extremely hard for men. So this is where we as women and wives can offer gentle solutions and not criticize when you're having those vulnerable moments, just being more discerning in how we say things, what we say, and when we say it, and understanding that, like, Holy Spirit, what do you want me to do in this moment? Holy Spirit, what do you want me to say in this moment? And he might say, you better keep your mouth shut and you're not going to say anything. And then there's a time and a place to do that. And so I think it's, it's using like read the room, but also being wise with how we speak to our husband. And scripture reminds us, like, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and what's in the heart, the mouth speaks. And so we just, again, I think it's being discerning. And I know we see this a lot in our marriage counseling, is that it can be, I think we as women so bad that we're like, no, it needs to be this way and we want to do it this way. And there's kind of like this control factor, and there's like, if it's not done this way, it's not going to work. And it's like, hey, like, God put something in your husband, and he put something in you. And so just be patient in that process and allow him the opportunity to do these things. And even though they might not be done the right way, or it might not have the perfect result or the result that you wanted it to be, we can still show appreciation, and we can still, gently offer a solution, or say, hey, I love that you did this and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I think that this might have worked a little bit differently, or whatever.
Gosh, I'm noticing a little trend here. I know perfection is something that a lot of women strive for. But again, your husband is not perfect.
No.
And here's a little shocker. Maybe you're not perfect either. It's okay.
Yeah.
God puts people together for different reasons. So I don't know why this was last. It should have been first, because if you do this first, everything else just makes a lot more sense. But intimacy, sex, it is important. And I think, again, it's very overshadowed, I think, a lot, especially as you've been married for a long time. But you got to keep intimacy and sex on the forefront. I mean, I know people go through phases. I know women go through phases.
Yeah.
They're, especially as you get into your 40s and 50s, I understand this, but we've talked 1,000 times about intentionality. Intentionality can go right into this area, but physical affection is very important, whether that's hugs, kisses, sex, words of affirmation, or just regular expressions. And keeping that fun and exciting, and making him feel desired. I think this is one of the things that people don't really pay a lot of attention to. Men are very programmed to not only see visually and appreciate visual, but also, speak to those affirmations. So when your wife looks hot, you tell her, like, hey, I love this. But men really love that too, and they want to feel desired, and they want to feel that you're still attracted to them.
I think it's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think it's, it's like, yes, like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful, babe, or oh, your hair looks amazing after hair day, but you really don't hear or see a lot spoken about that, of like, hey, you look really nice today, or handsome, or like that jacket looks really good on you, or, whatever it may be. And again, I think that goes with like the words of affirmation for men, and can show a level of honor and respect for your husband, that yes, you still desire him, and you, you think great things about him, and men need that.
And if you're thinking like dirty thoughts about him, you should say that too. I think, again, I think when inside the confines of marriage, I mean, the wheels are off a little bit. But yeah, I think that, again, don't understate how important that is to men.
Sure.
And we're talking about how to value your spouse. And again, I think there's work on both sides, and men and women both have to do that. But yeah, do that.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to close with a question. We've started this as a trend this season, and I want to continue it.
Yeah.
So here's the question, the closing question. Now, what you do is you go to the comment section, and I want you to answer this.
Yes.
So it says, how can we, as husbands and wives, so if you're the wife watching this and you want your husband to respond, you need to send this to him so he can do that. But how can we, as husbands and wives, actively choose to put these points into action? And what small changes can we start with today to better support each other?
And those points are
Yep.
open communication, regular check-ins, learning each other's love languages, praying together, not taking one another for granted, and teamwork and shared goals.
Yes.
And we'll put those on the screen as well. So we'll have those points. You should see them. But answer that question with those points.
Yes. And also, please take an opportunity to like, share, leave a comment. Don't forget, we have an amazing coaching system with BKF. We have amazing certified blended family coaches. So if you're going through a hard time and you want some help, reach out through our website. We will get you connected to a coach or coaches, a married and a married couple that is coaches, and they can meet with you one-on-one no matter where you are in the United States.
Yes.
We have all that video capabilities, and we would love to be that support system for you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and we hope that you are blessed in all that you do.
You guys take care.
Hey friends, so glad you were here with us today, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find more resources from Blended Kingdom Families at blendedkingdomfamilies.com. Join us again next time as we talk about more blended family topics. Be blessed in all that you do, and remember, nothing will be impossible with God.